Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Opera 101 with Cleveland Opera Theater. Opera 101 is our Monday through Friday series where we talk to you about all things opera and take you inside this strange yet wonderful world in which we all work. My name is Dean Buck. I am the assistant conductor and chorus master for Cleveland Opera Theater. Today, we're going to go a little further on the discussion we started on Tuesday about opera choruses. We talked a little bit on Tuesday about the role in the role that an opera chorus plays in the show. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how we make that happen, the stuff that we do behind the scenes to get a chorus sounding like the audience wants it to sound and is expecting it. You may remember we mentioned that opera chorus is kind of its own thing. It's not really like solo singing, and it's not really like concert choir singing. It's kind of its own animal. And there are a few reasons for this. In opera, the number one musical priority for everyone and everything is the audience needs to understand the words. That is always first and foremost. The words need to be understood. This is, opera existed long before we had super titles, long before we had translations. So this is kind of the core value of the art form, is the words need to be understood. Solo singers, when it's one singer, they can take some liberties. You can modify a vowel slightly if it helps your vocal technique get to a high note, for example. In a chorus, though, we can't do that. Every single thing needs to be so uniform for the texts to be intelligible. So we don't have the same freedom that we do when we're singing an aria, for example, because it has to be so uniform. The way opera chorus is written too, especially in kind of 19th century Italian opera, it's usually one of two stylistic things. It's very fast and short, or it's very slow and very closed and very soft. So we have kind of these, there are some in between, but most of it's one of those two things. So our job is to make sure that we have a uniform sound, a very blended sound like you would in a normal choral setting, but this importance of text and drama, it requires a little bit different approach. And that is not to say a more difficult or easier. It's just a little different. Examples, consonants need to be exaggerated. Vowels need to be uniform. A lot of times, because opera houses are big and sound reverberates, we need to sing far shorter and far more separated than we would normally in, like, say, an oratorio or a concert choir setting, because this text needs to be so clear over the orchestra through this house, and it's usually important. The text needs to be heard. So what we do in rehearsal, we usually start with about three rehearsals with the chorus for Cleveland Opera Theater. And these are the things we address: vowels, breathing, consonants, text, blend. Where we breathe is a very important thing, and it's something that the music director, Maestro Boyajan, and I talk about a lot before the first rehearsal. Do you want a uniform breath where the chorus all breathes together, which is a certain sound, and in a lot of styles, that's the right way to do it? Or do we want, especially if it's a slow legato passage, do you want the chorus to stagger breathing? Where everyone kind of takes little breaths, but not at the same time, so there's a uniform sound. Obviously, there are advantages and disadvantages to both. We just need to know going into it so we can be very clear and not waste any time. We're breathing here. We're not breathing here. Breathe together here. Stagger here. We're always, as we've talked about in a million of these videos, in opera, we're always crunched for time. So anything we can do beforehand really, really, really helps. Once we get that all settled, which usually takes about 3 rehearsals, the chorus is in really good shape, but then we have to put staging into it. And this is where one of the biggest challenges of opera chorus lies. we've gotten to the point where the chorus sounds great when everyone's standing together and just focus on music, but now they have to be all spread out throughout the stage and act and not necessarily singing next to the people that they're used to singing and blending with different people. And then, oh, there's soloists going through too. And, you know, there are all these things that they have to address. So the process, it doesn't, I would say it takes a few steps backward once we incorporate staging, which is absolutely natural. It's always going to happen. It happens at all levels. So my job at that point is to just keep reminding the chorus, okay, this is where we are. This is, I know, I know you don't hear it as well as when we were in just the rehearsal room singing together, but this is what's happening. And opera chorus singers are usually very, very good at adjusting to that, but it takes some time. So through staging rehearsals, I'm always kind of running back and forth, talking to the chorus, like, this is what I'm hearing from over here, this is what I'm hearing from over here, talking to the music director, kind of relaying information from the music director to the chorus. And this goes all the way through Sitzprobe and dress rehearsal, where, things we finally figure out how to get that blend staged in a rehearsal room. Now we're on the stage. Whole new set of challenges. Every theater has its idiosyncrasies, so we have to make more adjustments. And that's kind of the one of the biggest things about being a professional musician of any kind is how can you make adjustments and how fast can you make adjustments? And the faster we can do it, the better the production is, because we can focus on more things. If we adjust really quickly to being in a new room, okay, what musically is happening? What could we do to enhance this more musically? What's going on with this phrase? What's going on with this dramatically? Can everyone see the conductor? All these things are constantly needing to be addressed because of the way it works, the way we go from one room to another room to another room. So these are a lot of the things that we work on in opera chorus. Text, spacing, how to create a blend when you are spread out over 100 feet and constantly moving. And it's challenging, but it's super rewarding when you get to that opening night and you hear that sound that we all know, be it Va Pensiero or the Brindisi from Traviata or the Easter hymn from Cavalleria. This is how we make that opera chorus sound happen. As always, if you have any questions or would like anything elaborated on more, please feel free to email us. And we thank you, as always, for tuning in, and join us tomorrow. Thank you. Be safe.